This episode is proudly sponsored by Diamond Media Walls. This company creates bespoke media walls suited for any home with any size wall, any style and any budget. They offer a unique service around the West Midlands and further out. Links for Diamond Media Walls will be in the show notes. But anyway, let's get on with the episode. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the You Look Happier podcast. Today I am joined by Lee Meadows. Hi Lee.
Hello Ellie.
It feels so weird calling you Lee because I call you Lily.
I can't believe they're like walking in here then and they're just like expecting a woman to come in and it's like, oh, it's Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have known each other for years.
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other in a few years.
No.
But your name is Lee.
Yeah.
And I have always referred to you. It started Lee.
Yeah.
And then I just took on Lily.
Yeah.
And you've just accepted it. And
Absolutely. I'm absolutely fine with it because everyone knows when you're talking about Lily, it's me.
yeah.
Because that is how all of your friends and the people that we used to work with, that's just how they know it now.
Yeah. Even when I spoke to my friends and I said that you were coming on, I said Lily, they said, oh, great. How is he?
Yeah. Exactly.
So the listeners now know your name.
Yeah.
But how was it that we met each other?
Okay. So you came into my life like a whirlwind in our office. I remember you didn't start in the same job role as me. You did something else for a little bit, didn't you? And then you came over to us on the phones and that was it. You were like, yeah, genuinely, there's me trying to be professional and then there was you who was slightly professional, and then that just resulted in us just causing havoc, the terrible two in the office. I kept calling you my naughty little sister.
Yeah.
Even though I have a little sister, you were the naughty little sister. And yeah, like we just became instant friends, I think. We just clicked quite well. And we would just go shopping. We'd go out drinking quite a lot after work because we were so, I wouldn't say we were stressed at work. We were just like, oh, glad that's over. Let's go and get a drink.
Yeah.
And then we'd go out and then we'd go, like, we just did quite a lot of things together, didn't we?
I think we became like instant best friends, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. 100%. And to be fair, that did last for quite a long time while we were at work. And still, even when you left the workplace, like we've still remained in contact all these years later.
Yeah.
And I think that proves that, like, genuinely, even though it was at work, we're just glued and we've remained friends for the whole entire time. And do you know what? It's really nice. And that's why you've invited me here today.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So how old were we when we were friends? Like when
I started that job when I was 20. So I think you must come in when I was about 22 and you were about 20.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm a couple of years older, ain't I?
Yeah, even 19 I might have been.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that, oh yeah, right, it's a really serious job.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't anyway.
No. To be fair, like I started it as well, like, oh, this is just a stopgap until I figure out what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
I am still there 15 years later, but, you know, I want to be there now. However, very different job.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we were very young and just earning money is the way to describe it, isn't it, I think? We were earning money to do what we wanted to do outside of work.
Yeah.
Ish.
I think that's a great way of putting it. And it was all right money as well, working in a call centre.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
And we had a laugh. Well, I had a laugh. I thought it was
do you know
great.
what? Like, even with the people that still work there now, it's very much like we always talk about those times.
Okay.
Because it was just a fun place.
Yeah.
Like, it was a professional place, but it was fun. Like, the stuff that used to happen, the people we used to work with, how we used to annoy people, the games everyone used to play, but all the work still got done and we still remained having a job. Do you know what I mean? It was just a very nice corporate place to be, if you can put nice and corporate together. But like it genuinely was just a very, is where I think I needed to be at that time.
Yeah.
Like, and I think everyone that was there, it was very much, and we always look back on that period and think it was fun. That's good.
And I think that's a testament to the actual workplace as well,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they allowed it to be that. You
Yeah.
had the space to be professional
Yeah.
when you were on the phones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Without a doubt, without
yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
When a customer rang in, you'd speak to them and you'd deliver the best service. But then once
Absolutely.
that phone was off,
Yeah.
my chair would be spun around and my
Yeah.
manager would go, Ellie, you've been in rap for 25 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Get back on that phone.
yeah. But genuinely, we did good. I
Yeah.
think we definitely did good. But yeah, like from that, it was like, yeah, we've just become good friends, and to the point where I met your friends outside of work and all of that as well. So like, it was definitely, we've conjured up a relationship that, to be fair, when we were at work, we didn't even talk about work.
No.
When we were outside of work, we probably didn't even talk about work. So like, genuinely, yeah, it's a good friendship. And I'm thankful for that.
Me too.
Yeah, good.
So your journey from then, how old are you now, Lily?
I am 34.
34.
Ugh.
So we met when you were like 20,
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
How have you changed from then to now?
I've had in 12, 13 years. I think my big change point was round about when I was 26, I
Okay.
think. So came in the workplace at 2021. I was young. I had hair. I wasn't overweight. Like, I was pretty normal.
Yeah.
I think then I was also in a relationship at that point
Yeah.
as well. After that, I ballooned up to 18 stone at one point. I obviously lost all my hair. We'll get onto that bit. Yeah, lost all my hair. And have had many mental spirals throughout that time. Like, they're not bad. They're not off the rails. They are just, in general, I'm sad. I'm not sad. I've got things going on in my life. I put myself into situations which I think, looking back, I'm like, why did I even make that decision? Why have I caused that stress and worry on my life that I didn't need to? Do you know what I mean? Like, just simple things sometimes. Like, why did I buy that car? Like,
Okay.
why I put stress on myself for no reason? Why did I go on holiday then? Like, I shouldn't have done that. Why have I racked that credit card up? Why did I go out all the time? Like, there's little bits in that. Do I regret anything? I may think that, but do I regret anything? No, because it's where it's led me today. But over that 13 or whatever years, I'd say my biggest changes are weight, hair, confidence, and career as well. Like, I've ticked a good few things off what I wanted to achieve in life. By fluke, maybe, I don't know. Like, but also hard work. I know that I've done quite
I'm glad
a
you
lot
said
of
that
stuff.
bit.
Yeah, this is probably one of my things. Is I have always doubted myself. I've always been there's self-confidence issues. There's, what's it when you look at yourself and don't? Basically, I've looked at myself and don't see what other people see most of my life. Reasons why, not entirely sure. We might be able to unravel that. Who knows? But yeah, like, I'd say that's where my changes have been, and that all depends on how happy I am. I think at the time as to what place I'm in and how I've achieved things.
Okay.
I think.
So you mentioned there have been fluctuations in how you have felt throughout this time.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always struggled with that? So, like, I'm in a happy place, I'm in a sad place. And I'm thinking, like, maybe prior to us knowing each other, when you were younger, when you were a child, was that there?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
So I've always, like, childhood's been brilliant. Like, I cannot fault my parents, my grandparents, anyone in my family at all. There's not been any trauma there as such. However, my grandparents then started like my granddad died when I was 13. I think that was the first bit of trauma that came in. Like my family unit's not there anymore. Like the big man's not there. Like that was hard. Like all of my grandparents died early 60s. So actually that's not that old.
Not at all, because
No.
our parents, you know,
Well,
my
yeah.
my mum and dad are early 60s.
Yeah. Right, and to be fair, my mum and dad aren't there yet. Like I think they're 56 and 57.
Are they?
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. So like, but my grandparents, like, they between the ages of 63 and 68, I had no like they died. But my great grandparents, my great nan was 96 when she went, and my other one was like 82. But they all went within a space of 5 years of each other, all of them.
Wow.
And I think that was a big hit on me. Didn't realise it at the time, but then since I had Reiki therapy,
Okay.
and this woman, weirdest experience of my life, did this Reiki, but as she's doing it, she keeps burping. Like she was like sucking the energy out, but that came out as a burp, and I was in this therapy session, like, what's going on? Like, it was weird. But then after that healing as such, she kind of sat me down and went, right, there's some trauma in you from when you were 13. Like there's someone that's passed, and that has been the start of where you've had your emotional ups and downs. And I hadn't put anything. I had this therapy when I was about 23, 24.
Right.
And yeah, genuinely, it kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together, is to say, okay, that's maybe when I started to have my emotions go up and down, up and down. Also, hormones of becoming like man, going through puberty and all of that sort of stuff, right? I was probably vile at home, but also my emotions were all over the place. Plus, then I suppose we move on to the fact that during all of those ages, I am figuring out who I am,
Right.
hiding who I am, not acknowledging who I am, and not wanting to be that person. And that's been probably one of the biggest changes throughout all of that time, thinking about it, is I am now happy with who I am. It's taken me, I'm going to say, it's only recently, in the last maybe 3-4 years since I've turned 30, that I am happy with that. It's taken me 30 years to be okay. Because even when I knew you, everyone knew who I was.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with it. I really didn't want to be that person, because I've always seen it as that's growing up. That's not normal.
Right.
Like that's not normal. Like, but it is. So it's fine. And I've had no issues with like family, friends, or anything like that. But like, I haven't been brought up to say that's not normal.
Yeah.
But it's your school environment. It's your like sports environments. It's all of that. That's not normal. But yeah, I'm gay, by the way. If you were wondering. But yeah, it's like that was a big thing, coming to terms with that, telling my parents who didn't care. But that could have quite easily, I could have kept that to myself, and I think that would have eaten me up and I wouldn't have been here.
Right.
Basically. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I think that's why the majority of my sadness has come from, is not dealing with, or not wanting to deal with, who I am. Is, that's a big thing, to be fair. Like, for anyone like that is that way inclined, let's say that way inclined, anyone who's normal,
Yes.
right? Like, a person that is heterosexual does not need to have a conversation with someone else to say I am straight. For everybody else on that area, I was going to say spectrum. It's not spectrum. I'm going to say spectrum. For everyone else that is not on the heterosexual spectrum and is either up here, down here, or whatever, we've all got to have a coming out conversation. And that conversation is the most daunting conversation that I've had in my life. And it's not just a one-off. You have to kind of sometimes do it on a daily, maybe a weekly, maybe a monthly kind of. It's constant within your life that you have to, oh no, sorry, I'm gay. Like, or yeah, I'm gay.
Is that still happening now?
All the time. Like,
Wow.
It genuinely is it's not a one-off conversation, and I don't know whether other people would agree with that, but like you do constantly it's always there. Like it bugs me a little bit because like genuinely it should this day it's I know I sound old when I say this day and age, but like, it is. The world has come a long place. Like it is. I mean, it looks like it's turning back around at some points at the minute, but everything's just like it's normal. I've never had any issues at work. I've never had any issues majority of places. There's been the odd occasion where I've been nervous to say that because I've heard someone having a conversation about stuff that they don't agree with, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to be a welcome person here. You go through life having to, am I safe to tell people who I am in this situation?
To be myself.
Yeah. Also, if you've had a couple of drinks, you might not care about that anyway. I'm just going to tell people who I am. But sometimes it's not safe to do that. Just going to the pub, there might be someone that has an issue with that. Like there's a lot of internalized homophobia for a lot of men out there. They're still not comfortable with it. But if you are comfortable with yourself, you should be comfortable with other people being who they are around you. So, yeah, I've never really thought about that or said it out loud, I don't think. But it is genuinely something that is a constant conversation, and you will still have that constant conversation being a gay person throughout your life. So,
thank you so much for that insight.
Yeah,
because
I think I went off on a tangent.
No, it's helpful, and it will be really relatable to a lot of people because my perception, and you've opened my eyes to that, is somebody who is not heterosexual has to come out to family.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if I would have perceived it like, oh, everybody knows now.
Yeah.
But of course they don't, because people, you then carry on with your life and you meet so many new people and you're still having to have that conversation, which tells me that it's not the initial, oh, okay, heterosexual, gay.
Yeah.
It's people would assume the first one.
Yeah.
What I loved about what you said is growing up, your family were always really supported. You didn't really have any trauma there other than grief and losing. And I know how much your grandparents were important to you and still are in your heart.
Absolutely.
But these sort of self-conscious identity kind of concerns, they didn't come from friends and family. They developed a little bit you mentioned school.
Yeah.
Was it there in school then?
Yeah, right. So I reckon when you're in school, you can just sniff out the weak people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily weak people, but ones that don't conform to your normal society standard. We've all seen it on the movies where you've got your it crowds and like all your other like cliques. I was never in the it crowd at school up until year 10 and 11. That's when I started to enjoy school. Right. From 7, 8 and 9. Oh, little school as well, sound. But yeah, 7, 8 and 9. traumatic time for me. Like, people just knew that I was different, and I got picked on, name called quite a lot at school. And it was like, I still had a group of friends that were like, sound as anything. But it wasn't until year 10 and 11 when we split off to do our GCSE kind of classes, and people then realised actually I'm all right.
Your sound,
Yeah.
you're normal.
Yeah, and I can actually be quite funny sometimes.
Yeah.
And then that's when life started to get a little bit better. People, at that point I hadn't admitted anything.
Right.
But even if it was, it wouldn't have bothered people. Do you know what I mean? So like, but yeah, I didn't enjoy school year 7, 8, and 9, and that made me probably go into myself a little bit and become a bit more quieter around everybody. I think even my mum and dad probably noticed that I was quiet and reclusive during those years, and I'd probably just sit in my bedroom listening to music or playing on my PlayStation at that point, and didn't really do much else, to be honest. So
You said that at that time you hadn't admitted anything.
no.
So how did that impact the way that you were being treated, which was unacceptable
Yeah.
by people at school, year 7, 8, and 9, before people actually got to know you?
Yeah.
How did that impact how you felt about yourself?
Something's wrong with me.
Right.
Like, that's the only way to, like, I'm not very good in, I never used to be very good in conversating how I feel to anybody, including my parents, including my grandparents. Like, I'd never really talk about how I felt, for the reason of I'm trying to figure out myself, that I am gay, that I don't want to be. So if I was embarrassed to be, I think. So if I feel like that, I'm not going to talk to anybody about the fact that I feel embarrassed. Like, I'm going to keep that to myself. However, these days, if I'm embarrassed about the smallest thing, I find it hilarious, and I'll tell everybody. Like, it is what it is. I'll probably whack it on TikTok or
I love that. Yeah.
like, because it's relatable now. Like, but back in the day, I didn't feel like I related to anybody, and I isolated myself, basically. So,
Was there a fear that if you were open and honest, saying, I feel like there's something wrong with me, I feel embarrassed to talk about it,
yeah,
was there a fear that you wouldn't be heard or accepted?
Yeah.
If you said that?
Yeah. Like, that was just my constant fear that I'd just be rejected.
Right.
When I told my mum and dad I was gay, I think I actually told them I was bi. Absolute lie.
That is so common as well.
Yeah, it is. Absolute lie. I wrote on my letter, and
How old were you, by the way?
I was 18, 19.
Okay.
With a partner at the time. And I wrote on my letter, put it on my mum's pillow. She went mental, thinking it was a suicide note.
Wow.
Yeah, because I just.
Were you in the house when she was reading it, or you'd gone out?
I'd gone.
Oh, God.
I'd just left, gone. And I don't think I came. Like, I just went driving for hours, basically. Which was my favourite thing to do. It still
Always
is
has
my
been.
yeah,
Yeah.
it still is my favourite thing to do. I just like driving, and it chills me out. Basically, it's a cut-off zone for my brain. But yeah, she thought it was a suicide note, and it luckily wasn't.
Yeah.
So I think after that, she just, like, even if I don't think she did, but even if she did think, oh no, she didn't care because I was still here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it was emotional when I told them, because it was a big step in telling someone. I think I told my friends first.
Right.
On A-level results night. After we'd had a few too many jugs of cheeky Vimto, and they all just looked at me and went, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh." And they were
Was
like,
anyone shocked, Lily? I've got to be honest. Was anyone shocked?
No. And then I was like, to my mum, like, was that a shock? And she was like, oh, yeah. And I went, are you sure? Because when I was 7, I definitely used to walk around in a Spice Girls t-shirt all the time. Like, there were signs. And she said, like, yeah, there was. Like, but I genuinely also think, right, that my nan Pat, who was like the oracle for
Yeah,
me, like
love
she
of your
was
life,
just
yeah.
like, yeah, she was brilliant. I think she knew. I think she just had a feeling that I was slightly different, and I think she knew without ever saying it. I think she knew. So, and to be fair, that brings me a little bit of like, not joy, like warmth in my heart, but I just think there was a feeling there that she knew. And I like that, to be fair. Because with the older generation, I do actually worry more with like the older generation, because that was definitely not the norm back in some people now that are like 70, 80, 90, whatever. Being gay was not the norm.
Not the
back then.
talked about norm.
Not the talk about
Yeah.
norm, yeah. We're always here. Like we're always around. But yeah, it wasn't the talked about norm. So like, and I do think that was a worry for me at one point, but I never actually got to physically tell her that I was. Which was, I look back and think I wish I had. But I think she knew. I definitely think she knew. Which I like.
I like that brings warmth to your heart.
Yeah.
I know how much she means to you. Even if I drive, I obviously never got the pleasure of meeting her.
Yeah.
Even if you took me to where she lived once.
Yeah.
And even if I drive past it, I will still think that's where Lily's nan lived.
Yeah.
So the fact that it brings warmth to your heart, even though you never actually got the chance to tell her.
No.
Does it bring warmth to your heart because you feel or felt seen, heard in some form of way without her actually saying it?
I just feel like she understood me.
Yeah.
She knew that I was more emotional. She just knew that there was something deeper that was going on with me, I think. And I think my mom and dad did as well, but my nan was my go-to because I didn't want to tell my mom and dad. I don't know why. I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet they are too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. But, like, my nan definitely knew.
Yeah.
And then I go on my head in these little stories that I make up and think she must have been, like, the biggest gay ally growing up in her life. And, like, she had all these friends and, like... But I don't know, like, to be fair. She might have, she might not have. But, like... Yeah, like, growing up as well. So my great nan lived with my nan and my granddad as well. So my nan's mom, and so I grew up with all of them, seeing them every day. Like while my mom and dad were at work, etc. Like we were at nan's. I used to say nans because 2 of them lived there.
2 of them, yeah. Nan plural.
Yeah, but like again, I think my great nan knew as well. Like, even though I was young, there was always something a bit more different with me. I didn't go out and play football. I like football. I'm shit at playing it, but I like it. I'll go watch Cov City when I'm free and all of that sort of stuff. I had Junior Sky Blues season ticket back in the day at Highfield Road.
Did you?
Yeah. I used to, 3 or 4 seasons I went there, and then it moved to Rico, and then I didn't go. Also, because I think we got relegated, but you know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, of course you do.
So with this journey then, you came out to your family and friends around the same kind of time.
Yeah.
When was it in your life that you started to, I know that you mentioned like the past couple of years, but we're talking like 18, 19 here.
Yeah.
From that moment with both friends and family, did you then just start telling people openly?
Yeah.
When was it that you started to really embrace it?
Probably my first relationship, I was just like, well, I can't hide the fact that I'm with a man now, right?
Yeah.
So that. And then, but really, it was, so that was the starting point. But it's really in the past since I've turned 30, I would say that I am 100% comfortable with myself. In terms of not necessarily with looks all the time, but in terms of who I am, you either are okay with that, and if you're not okay with that, you're not in my life. It's as simple as that. I've got more of a cutthroat mentality. I don't want to please people. I don't want to, oh, they don't like the fact that I'm gay. But I really want to be their friend. Oh, no, if you don't
Not
like
good
that,
enough,
go
yeah.
away. Like, I think both of us back in our troublesome time were FOMO, people pleasing,
Yeah.
and we just wanted to be everyone's friend.
Yeah.
And that in itself is just not a good mentality for us to have, to be fair. I don't think. I think our part of both of us growing up is we know who we are, we know what we want to achieve, and we can say no. No is a big thing that I have learned in the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm happy to say, because yes, got me into debt. Yes, got me into being sad because I was hungover. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we'd say, oh, someone would go, oh, do you want to go for a few drinks down the pub? Yeah, all right then. You get back in at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's not a few drinks. Like,
And then we'd be on an early and we'd start work like
yeah.
6,
Do you
7.
remember some of the times where we used to be out till 5 and then go to work for 6?
Yeah.
Oh, that
We went
makes,
from the castle,
yeah.
like middle of town,
Yeah.
and then, or like the Aardvark. We used to drink in there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd be, God knows where, Rainbows. We used to go in there.
we
I used to go in there with you.
Yeah.
And Heat,
Yeah.
Lily.
Yeah.
But I love how you've put that. Saying yes got me into not all bad places,
No,
but
God,
a lot
no.
of the bad times were due
Yeah.
to you potentially people pleasing, myself as well.
Yeah.
Not being comfortable with who you were, so
Yeah.
not having the ability to say no
Yeah.
and set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah. Setting a boundary is a big positive in my life. Definitely. Like, with everyone else has their own lives, and we should have our own lives. My life for a good few years felt like it was everyone else's life because I was doing what everyone else wanted to do just to be a part of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whereas I've in the past, well, since I've had a house since I was 26, which I've been doing. I think that was another pivotal point is I've achieved getting a house, and then I've concentrated a lot of time on doing that up. But still, that was just in my head. I only got that because I felt like I needed a house. If I'd stayed at mum and dad's for another few more years, I would probably been in a better situation. But I bought a house because it's the right thing to buy a house. Now I've sold that and got my new house, it feels more right. I've waited to do that on. I've brought something that is a complete mess, but it's my mess. It's my challenge, and I'm doing something that I really like again. But I'm going off. I keep going off on tangents.
No, but this is helpful because you've said something here. You know your first house?
Yeah.
Did you rush into buying it then?
Yeah.
Right. Why?
I just really wanted a house. I really wanted to be independent. I really wanted my own space. I didn't need that. Mum and dad's house was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, there was no issues there. I mean, I was working shifts, nights, and all that sort of stuff, and people do have to tiptoe around you when you're on nights. So when you've got a full house of people, that's not necessarily easy for you or them. And I think that was one of my decision points. So it was the right thing to move, right? But it was the best thing. I love that little house. It was my little space. But this new house that I'm moving into is a more planned, more not rushed. I've looked for it, and then I'm now turning it into my home as well.
I hear you.
So, yeah.
So there have been times in your life where you've put other people first.
Yep.
That you've said yes to things that you didn't necessarily need to do or want to do. That set you back a little bit.
Yeah.
this first house that you said that you got,
Yeah.
which is an amazing achievement. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Buying a house at 26
Yeah.
is a massive. Buying a house at any age
Absolutely.
is a massive achievement. And I love the vulnerability of you saying, "Oh, yeah, I potentially rushed into it."
Yeah.
Answer me this honestly.
Yeah.
Did you rush into it because you felt that saying that you've bought yourself a house was something to be able to say
Yeah.
to other people?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
And I think both of us at some point in our lives have gone, yeah, well, I've managed to do this, do that, do
100%.
this, and I feel really good. But
Look at me,
yeah.
because actually, don't see the vulnerable side on the
Yeah,
inside.
100%. It's a disguise. It's a ploy.
Yep.
I'm confident. I'm stable, and I can do this.
Yep.
In the background, my credit cards have been through the roof. My emotions have been on the floor. My stress levels have gone out the window. But I've got a house.
Yeah.
It's all good. And then the other thing that I did that I shouldn't have done, which put me in a bit of strain, was buy my car.
Right.
However, I do not regret that one thing, because that is one thing that, as a child, the one thing that I've always loved is cars. And I will get into debt again for a car that I want. And that's bad. I know that is. But that's my bad. And I choose to be that. So that's fine.
That sounds like that's more of a passion for you, though.
Yeah, it
really.
is, yeah.
Like, you have always loved cars.
Yeah.
VWs and
Yeah.
these Beetles.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
What is it? A bug?
Yeah, Volkswagen Beetle, my little
Yeah,
bug.
you love them.
I've even got a tattoo on my leg of one. So, yeah, I love my Beetles. I have got one as well. So I've got my two cars. One of them being a Beetle, not on the road at the minute. We're working on it.
Yeah.
But that is one of my mum and dad and my auntie and uncle, since I was the age of 3, have had some form of old Volkswagen, and I just love them.
You do.
Yeah, but it's not just me. My whole family love them as well. My sisters had Beetles, mum's had Beetles, dad's had Beetles, camper vans, aunties, uncle. We're talking like 20, I reckon, we've had throughout the family over the time. I just love them. And I could talk about them all day.
So, with your finances and funding everything and learning who you are as a person,
Yeah.
we need to get into how things started to change for you.
Yeah.
How you started to feel happier.
Hello, Mr. Hare.
Tell me about it, because
Yeah.
can I just say, and if you are listening to this podcast, please either watch the YouTube or watch the Instagram reels so you can actually see Lily, because I'm your biggest fan. You are drop dead gorgeous. And this hair, I show people the videos all the time. Tell me about it.
Changed my life. So just in terms of, so when I got it done, I was probably about 16, 17 stone. 0 hair on my head. So it's called a hair system. What you probably would have called a toupee at the time. We've obviously rebranded it because it's better to say I've got a hair system, not a toupee. And it's just given me confidence back. People are like, oh, why don't you shave it off? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I don't want to be bald.
Yeah.
Like, it has caused me emotional turmoil, the fact that I've been losing my hair since I was 23. I then got this hair at 28. It's not a transplant, it's a hair system, which means it's glued onto my head. I take it off. Shape. My hair still grows underneath. I just don't have that much. So there's a few wisps here and there. But it's just changed my confidence. I do fluctuate in weight anyway, but from that I lost at least 2-3 stone because I was happy. Like, I'd go to the gym, I'd go swimming. Like, before, I had hair fibres, hairsprays, all that sort of stuff in to hide. It doesn't hide, we can see.
Would that be when you were using that, was that to make it look thicker?
Yeah.
Like Ronnie off Love Island.
Yeah.
He uses the hair fibres.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Apart from he has a lot more hair than I did. So, yeah. Basically, it's just changed my life. I've lost a lot of weight. And then I had a company that does them reach out to me and say, right, can you do a few videos for us? And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm comfortable enough that this has changed my life. I will put myself out on social media because it might help someone else at the end of the day. And that was my whole mindset in terms of putting it on my Instagram and my TikTok. And then I woke up one morning and
I remember this.
I was like, oh my God, I've had 1.5 million views. And I was like, crap. And then by the next morning, that had gone to 5 million. I had the Daily Star, the Daily Mail, Daily Mirror all contact me. And so it's all. So if you also are listening to this, go on Google, put in Lee Meadows, Nuneaton, and I'm on all these. So I think it worked out that I was on Daily Mail, Daily Mirror, Daily Star, iNews. There was some Snapchat forum things, interviews that I did. Like it worked out about 7 or 8 different platforms that it all went out on. The video on TikTok now is about 50,000 views away from 60 million views.
Oh my God.
I know. It's been mental. Like,
So tell me about you were losing your hair and
Yeah.
you thought, right, this might work. I've been trying hair fibers, this spray, not working for me. Were you embarrassed to try the hair system?
I went through my mind. It went through my mind for a couple of years to get that done.
Wow,
However,
a couple of years.
yeah, it was the price at the time. Like to get it done for the first time cost me 900 quid, which it doesn't. It was new back then, whereas now it's a lot more common. And I think I've made it a lot more common because, especially around my friend circle, we all know about it, and we probably see it online a lot more now.
Right.
I don't know whether you scroll through your socials and I crop up on an advert.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Which is weird as well, isn't it? But like it was expensive back then. It's now a lot more reasonable. Like the average cost is about 500, so it's come down.
So it's real hair. Is that why it's expensive?
Yeah, so the system itself is about £200 to £300, depending on what you want, and then the rest of the cost is the fitting of it, so a person's time.
Right.
I do it all myself now, like so. It's easy enough to do that, and I always debate like, do I start doing tutorials kind of thing, and like I admit I've missed a mark.
Yes, is the answer.
I have missed a mark getting all of that following and attention on social media, and I haven't followed it up as much. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I should have and could have done a lot more, but I was just in shock by it. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I do it all myself, and the amount of messages that I get, because that video is, I'm still getting like 100, 200, maybe 1,000 likes per day on that one video, plus all the other ones. I help a lot of people who message me and go, oh, what about this? What about that? Or I'm nervous to do it, and I give them advice on it. I love that. Absolutely love it. But alongside that comes hate.
What?
So much hate of middle-aged men with no hair that be a man, be masculine, just shave it off.
Oh dear.
Last night I had a personal Instagram message of someone who just said, you're dumb. You shave.
I've screenshotted this. I wanted to speak to you about that.
Yeah, you should shave your hair. Go whore yourself out. You're just after money, basically. But then that also just proves how good and natural the hair looks that people don't believe it's real. Like, it's not real. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're listening, go and have a look. Have a look at just how unbelievably real it looks. Yeah. Question. So you're on this journey of figuring out who you are, being happy with your identity.
Yeah.
With this hair system, that has increased and supported your confidence tenfold.
Absolutely.
You know how we were looking at buying a house for other people?
Yeah.
To be seen as I've bought a house. Now, with you and with going viral, and you really did go viral as well, and you still are. You still are. Is it superficial confidence or is it internal confidence?
it's me.
I believe,
It's
yeah.
internal confidence. I don't care about the fact that it went viral. I don't care about anything else. I am so much happier that I have a full head of hair. It has changed my life in ways that I can't explain, and no one else will be able to probably. They can see that it's changed my life.
I can see it.
Yeah, but my aura is confident. I'm more assertive. I'm more happier. I'm just happier. I have hair. It's so stupid, but when people say, "Oh, it's only hair," for some men, it is not just hair.
It was your identity. It
Yeah.
meant a lot to you.
Hair is identity. It's a style. It's something to express who we are, and like people have different colours because of how they're feeling. Like, do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
God, yeah.
Wow.
We used to dye my hair together.
Yeah, we did. Oh, that pink hair. That was fun. That was funny. That's tickled me. But yeah, like, it's a big thing. Hair is, and for anyone to turn around and say it's just hair, it is not. It is a whole. Hair is some people. It's their life. So, and I know there's a lot of blokes out there that I'm now friends with online that have a hair system that I talk to all the time. We ask questions between ourselves, help each other out. Like, it's, I know that they're happier as well and that they've changed. Like, just in terms of like dating and staying at people's houses, like, I can do that now. Like, I had no confidence to do any of that before. Like,
Really?
between the ages of like 22 and 26, I don't think I went on dates. I didn't stay at my friends' houses, let alone anybody else's houses, because I just had zero confidence with my hair going that I didn't want to. I'd always make sure, like, I know that I think probably stayed at yours a couple of
Yeah.
times. But like with the hair fibers and stuff, it'd always come off on a pillow. I'd have to, if I stayed somewhere, I'd have to take my pillow, like, or so I just, it minimized my life. Like, there was stuff that I couldn't do. Now I've got my hair, I feel unstoppable. Like, it's weird,
I
but
love that confidence
just
so much.
absolutely, I'm a different person. And if you're thinking about doing it, like even a hair transplant, I would go for a hair transplant, but I'm that bold, is no point. Like,
Okay.
I don't think it would work for me.
Does it have to have hair to hang on to then?
Well, you take all the hair off your back. So all of this is me anyway here.
Yeah.
So you take that off and like pop it in the top. But because I've got such a big space, A, it'd probably cost me about £15,000. B, have you seen the size of your head swells up to after having a hair transplant?
I've seen a couple of them going wrong.
Yeah. And then, see, they're not guaranteed to work. Whereas a hair system, it's there and I'm gluing it on. And then I'll take it off once a month, redo the glue, shave my hair underneath, stick it back on.
So it lasts for a whole month?
Yeah, bear in mind as well, right? I'm very highly active. I do high intensity classes every day, spin classes, like swimming, all of that sort of stuff. Drive a convertible. I have zero issues with it, right? I will sell this to the death of me. I love it.
Do you know what I love? I love that we met at a time when we were really young and reckless.
Yeah.
We then went our separate paths,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Still kept in contact
Yeah,
every now and
yeah.
again, always a birthday post.
Yeah.
And then you went through a tough time. I think I went through a tough time for
Yeah.
different reasons.
Yeah.
And you have found something which has got you back.
Yeah.
Now, for somebody with maybe not that much emotional intelligence, they may feel, well, that's superficial, superficial confidence. It's not with you.
No.
Because you were working out who you were as a person, but you were struggling with that because internally you're trying to figure out who you are, but externally you were changing.
Yeah.
You were sharing that you put on weight, you were losing your hair, and it was affecting you.
Yeah.
Then internally.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
You then found a way, this hair system, you thought, right, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
The thing that I love about you the most is that you are honest and open and transparent about it,
Mm-hmm.
you've not only just gone, "Oh, I'm going to get a hair system, hopefully no one will notice." You've
Yeah.
gone, "Do you know what? Bang.
I was
Here I
too
am."
excited to not do it. I was like, this is bloody brilliant. Like, I need to tell everybody.
And I think the reason why you did get so much sort of traction on that
Yeah.
is because, I don't know, you're going, "No, I'm not," but you're a young lad, you're so good looking that it's like, if he's going to be honest,
Yeah.
this isn't the stereotypical kind of person that would maybe people would think would get a hair system. You've completely changed that, Lily. You've gone, "No, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be honest that I've got it."
Yeah.
And how many people you have changed through that. But what I'm hearing then, you then started losing weight because you were happier with
Yeah,
yourself.
I
So
did,
you
yeah.
weren't comfort eating, I
No.
take it.
No. And I'll go through stages where I still comfort eat, don't get me wrong. But just in the last year, I just feel a bit more, even better with myself. I've lost
You
I've lost 4 stone. I went back up to 16 stone last year after, like, I had a mini relationship, came out of that, was unstable for a little bit in terms of where I felt like I was in the world, life, all of that. Did eat quite a lot, did drink a bit more, sorted myself out and lost 4 stone. And this is probably the slimmest I've been in my whole adult life. I think last time I was this weight, I was about 12. So
And it's helping you internally, which is the most important
and
thing.
this is the thing, like, I do everything now because I want to. I don't care what it looks like. And the gym I go to, it helps my brain. It resets me every single day by going to do a spin class at Ramsey's, just to let you know.
I'll add the link.
A spin class, a circuit class, a boxing class, reformer Pilates as well. Like, I love it. But it just resets me every single day. And that's for me. And yeah, okay, you'll see my Instagram, but I'm advertising for I'm happy. Like,
Yeah.
look at the change from where I was last year to now, and look at what I'm doing. I'm just happy. Like, there's certain things that I'm not happy with, but everybody and everyone, I don't think we're always going to have something that we wish for, or something that we are missing slightly.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's going to be 100%. You can be 99, but there's still that 1%.
And we're always evolving as well, Lily.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
once we
mean.
have got that, it's like, oh, okay, what next?
Yeah, 100%.
And we can't be 100%,
No.
but that's okay.
Yeah. It is absolutely fine. Like, I know that I want to be in a relationship, and that's what I want my end goal in life to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to force that. I'm not going to go after that in terms of doing everything that I can to possibly achieve that. It will happen when it happens.
Yeah.
As long as I concentrate on myself and I'm happy, I don't get too used to the fact that I'm on my own, like, it will be fine. And then I will evolve into what I want to eventually. I'm having that mindset, and that's helping me out a lot.
And I know that people listening to this, you will help so many people as well, because
hope
you
so.
are real, you're relatable, but you're inspirational as well. Because you're just being honest. Like, you've had shit times in your life.
Yeah.
You've struggled figuring out who you are, but you found yourself in a place where you can comfortably say,
Yeah.
I know who I am.
Yeah.
Things have helped me with that.
Yeah.
So, physical fitness, that has then helped me mentally. It's helped you internally.
It has.
So it's not just the fact, oh yeah, if somebody's unhappy, get a hair system and go to the gym.
No.
It's you've recognised how it's made you feel on the inside.
Yeah, 100%. And that may be different for someone else. It may be that the hair sorts them out, but the gym they don't want to do, but they might take up cooking or something, and then that helps them, or gardening. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of different things. DIY is another thing of mine,
I
right?
know.
Yeah. But like, there's little things like that's my story, but the change of hair kick-started that. So the other people's stories, something will kickstart that to then enable them for something else that will then make them happier. Just got to find that within, and it may take a while. Like, it really may take a while to figure that out, as it has done for us two, I think.
Yeah.
But that's part of being an adult. I don't want to be an adult.
Well, look at
But we
us,
are.
two bloody adults
I
sitting
know.
on a podcast.
In my head, though, me and you are still 21.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I've not grown out of the mentality of being 21. And
We used to get your car and go and put the roof down in it in
snow.
onesies in the snow and do donuts in my Fiat 500 in the Sainsbury's car park.
oh, yeah. Do you know what? I always, every time I go to that Sainsbury's car park, I'm like, I remember doing donuts in this.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
We were little terrors, to be honest.
But look at you now and look at me now.
Yeah.
Mental.
We are adults that have figured out where we need to be right now.
I love that.
That's what I genuinely believe. So, yeah.
So, I can't thank you enough.
No, thank you for
But I
having me.
love you so much.
I love
I
you too.
always have.
Yeah.
And I think your story will be so relatable to so many people. And I can't wait to continue watching you grow.
Same to you as well. I genuinely think we're where we want to be right now. We've got a lot of growing to do.
I know, yeah. I can't hide it anymore,
Yeah.
this massive bump.
We've got a lot of growing to do yet. It's only the beginning.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'll put your social media links and
Sweet.
stuff like that in the show notes.
Yeah.
And if anyone has any questions for Lily, just contact him. Genuinely, he's...
Genuinely message me on anything and I will get back to you. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. We are all done.
Well, thank you very much. Perfect.
Ta-da!